There are details that are frankly insane, even for Donald Trump today, on what from the outside appears to be a fabricated effort to relitigate the 2020 election that Donald Trump lost. That is despite people like Bill Barr saying there was zero evidence of fraud there. The most bizarre development, we learned last night that for some reason, Donald Trump's director of national intelligence, a job created after 9/11 to look at all of the intelligence and threats abroad. The person who has that job now under Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, was on site in Georgia during the FBI search of the Fulton County Election Office. According to new reporting in the Wall Street Journal, Tulsi Gabbard was there because she has, quote, spent months investigating the results of the 2020 election that Donald Trump lost. That's according to White House officials. Tulsi Gabbard is leading the Trump administration's effort to re-examine the election and look for potential crimes, the official said. Not her job at all to look for crimes, as the DNI. In a statement, Trump officials told our network that Tulsi Gabbard has a, quote, pivotal role in election security. As for what was taken yesterday, one Fulton County commissioner says that the FBI took, quote, pallets of ballots from the office. I want to bring in Atlanta Journal-Constitution chief political reporter Greg Bluestein, who witnessed the FBI while they were at the Fulton office. Andrew's still here. Greg, what's going on?
Well, a lot's going on, but there's even more questions that we don't know the answers to right now. But what we do know is about 700 boxes were obtained by the FBI, seized by the FBI at the Fulton County office yesterday. Fulton County officials have dreaded this for the last year. There were rumors a year ago that this would happen. So they've been on alert for a long time, although it came as a surprise that the day was yesterday, even after Donald Trump has been repeatedly kind of hinting at this for a while. Even in Davos, he talked about some sort of action being taken soon. Now we know at least one of those actions is this warrant. Georgia officials are trying to figure out what's next. Fulton County officials are in a state of somewhat shock, but they're also trying to plan out litigation. And in Georgia, there are serious concerns from Democrats that the end game here is for the state, the Republican-controlled state election board, to take over Fulton County elections, which would be the most taking over the elections of the most populous county in Georgia and one of the biggest Democratic strongholds in Georgia.
I mean, but Greg, Trump supporting Governor Kemp and Trump supporter Republican Brad Raffensperger are the Republican officials who certified the state's election. They're the two people who said there was no fraud in Georgia, including in Fulton. What is their role in all this? I mean, they're the last signatures on the certification.
Yeah, we know that Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who, as you mentioned, rejected Trump's effort to overturn the election, he's running for governor now. He's been pretty quiet the last couple of days, but he has rebuffed Trump's attempts the Justice Department's attempts to get sensitive voter data earlier. So he's staked his claim. His Republican opponent, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who's Trump endorsed, has called him an ever-Trumper. So you can see those divisions playing out on the Republican side. Governor Kemp, also no comment that I know of today. I've asked his office. I haven't seen a public statement from him quite yet either. So, he's happy that feud between him and President Trump has been, at least there's a truce. He's kind of taken the same stance as a lot of Republican officials, focusing on Georgia and not on Donald Trump's agenda.
I mean, Andrew Weissmann, the problem is Donald Trump is focused on them. They are his agenda. What is Tulsi Gabbard doing there?
So, this is where the Wall Street Journal basically gives us the answer, and it's a warning. It says that we should anticipate that she will issue a report and that we may also anticipate further presidential executive orders. I remember being on the show repeatedly with you, Nicole, when we talked about her claims about 2016 in Russia and how it was absolutely loony. There was no evidence to support what she was saying. It had been disproved up one side and down the other. And so it should be very concerning to people if she writes a bogus report about fraud in the election when there's no facts to support it. but that's the basis for executive orders. Now, we don't know what those executive orders would be or if there will even be any, but you could imagine the federal government through Donald Trump trying to play a role in state elections. They could seize ballots. They could say that they're the ones who need to be the ones who are counting the vote based on some bogus allegations that the DNI puts out. And again, I'm basing this on the story that the Wall Street Journal has signaled to all of us as sort of the reason that we're seeing this activity in Georgia. In other words, there's a real reason and a plan behind it.